Interesting point to some of my strategy previously was brought up, again, by the same player. There's one guy who really, I think, knows and has played this game a lot. And he catches me on a lot of errors, both in terms of, decisions that I made, but also roles. A little earlier, I was considering, quite a while earlier, how about 2 shares, could I buy 2 shares of this company that looks like it's going to work pretty well? Well, I ended up choosing to do so because I could guarantee that I kept priority. But there was actually another point there, which is that the holdings in this game, like in 1835 there, are so large that for a player to dump, there might not be enough room in the bank pool. Is it still possible that I could get screwed? Not without some kind of action in between, where maybe I mean, it is possible it could be engineered horribly, right? But in general, yeah, you are probably safe with 2 shares as long as your opponent's holding like 7 or more shares of the company, because they can only sell 50%. That leaves them with 2 shares, and you won't get the presidency for that. I'm not used to games where people hold more than 60% of a company, except for 1830, where you can do it when you're in the brown, and generally that's not a situation where somebody's dumping the company, and it's also not a situation where anybody wants to hold the company or has the opportunity to, because everyone else will buy a share if it's a good buy. So after that quick note, we're ready to start playing with the stock round. I apologize for the length of these videos. Again, I feel like the only value is in the struggle, and that the struggle has to be expressed as fully as it can. And it's not like the struggle changes or is the same all the time. Like over with Summer Storm, I can try to cut those short by not showing the same problem again and again. But here I feel like it's reoccurring similar problems that all come down to the calculation difficulty in this game, in the decision-making difficulty. Which is, look, again, with enough experience, maybe you'll eventually get used to this one. All the different moving pieces and everything. To do so, you'd basically probably have to forego other XXs, right? I mean, I don't know. It depends on how addicted you are, right? Like, you could be playing a game of this a week and other things at the same time. But to kind of internalize this, I feel like it really does have to become at least the 22 series as a whole, because I think most of the issues that I'm having here are intrinsic to the original, probably. It becomes almost a lifestyle type game in the economic realm, which is weird, right? But it's like, and then once you do kind of internalize what these decision-making processes are, you might be able to come up with some rules of thumb the same way that I generally do with most XXs. But those rules of thumb don't work here. They really don't. Okay. We're starting up here, and oh boy, let's start with the most complicated guy of all. I don't know if he really is, but he's one of the most complicated because he ended up holding on to this. Now, this is going to go later than anything else that I start. I don't have share limit for a corporation, and I'm not that convinced that a corporation is that advantageous to me. So what I may be doing is looking for another miner to invest my money in, and my certificate limit. I'm at limit. If what I want to buy is a miner and a share of something that's better than the MC, for example, the FCM, I can't find anything better than the MC. There are no shares of this kicking around. Too bad I sold my one. So this might be the best thing to hold. I guess I'm going to sell one of these at 120, and that drops its price, which is a shame because I am holding one, but whatever. And then I think I put a bid. See, here's the problem. Fuck. Son of a bitch. So because this guy goes so fucking late, whatever company I have can buy that 6 train, run it, not run it, fall back in share value or whatever. Then this runs by taking the 6, then this absorbs it. This may not make sense. Maybe I'm best off holding those 2 MCs. It is actually safe right now. God, I don't know. Pass. Because right now this can run, generate some money that could be used in there eventually. Get its stock value high enough. Now the problem is that the 19 is the one that I want, right? Like, but maybe I don't want anything. So if I run this, start generating some cash in there, I make it a more attractive takeover bid, and I can also get its stock value above this stock value in 2 operating rounds. It'll be here if I put a bid in at 100. Of course, these 2 companies will be gone. That means only the 1 and the 22. I think this is the 22. Do I want that? I don't know. But I don't see the machinations as being worth making. 2 is sitting on what may be the weakest company of all. $500 would get me a new company, a new corporation. I can't afford to buy one of these, right? I'm thinking, look, I probably have 4th place lockdown no matter what I do. Maybe I want to fiddle around and see if something can be done by starting a new corporation. There is a decent one here who doesn't have a way out. And then the other one is up here somewhere. It needs to go somewhere. Needs to go to H11. I mean, doesn't need to, but it's appealing. That's this. And I don't have a marker there. I should have a marker there. That's something important. Okay. But there's nothing reserved there. So some of these are like reserved. Some of them there's not. God. Okay. Just painful. And now I have to start watching because these are going to disappear without creating National Railway tokens, which means that I can't just vaporize them. I have to find out where they are and remove the little green dots wherever they are. But yeah, this looks hopeless. How would something here be with, say, an E-train maybe? Or I could shift the E-train over to the yellow, but I'm just not that convinced. See, yellow's got some nice track. It's going to be making some decent money. I think I may be best just investing. I think I may just be best investing. That's not going to win me the game, but it's also not going to lose me 4th. Fucking around with my share values might end up losing me something. So player 3 has 9 certificates. This is the guy I think wanted a miner. I thought he did too, though. So this guy I think needs a miner. I'm trying to collect up money on this, though, to absorb it. What if I get another miner? What does that do me? It does not get me, like, yeah, I could spend this money on a train. I don't want to. I think I invest, and I think the best investment right now to pick up is the Mexican Central, which is what everybody else is buying. Fills it out. Player 4 has to pass. He's not allowed to buy anything or do anything until he pays these off. I can just pay off that 300 out of here, but it's going to hurt me. I'll do that, but it's going to hurt me because I'm going to be generating a greater interest than I'm paying off, right? I was at like 800. I'm going to be generating 400 in interest. But if I pay this off, it'll be less than that. And this is what I made. Yeah, some of it was from buying a miner for myself, but I may be buying this other miner as well. I don't know. I don't know yet, but I don't think it matters. This poor fellow has room for one more share. Well, the best thing out there appears to be this at 110. Again, I don't have room for another train to go around. So, yeah. Which means I guess I buy that for 110. And we're really having kind of a non-exciting stock round where I thought it was going to be kind of a heavy one, to tell you the truth, because I thought there were going to be some manipulations here. I should have done something with these suckers because they're a problem. They're preventing him from using all his money. Oh well. It's a live and learn situation. I'm not gonna fix that. I fixed the big problems. I'm not gonna fix little ones like that. That brings me back to 1. 1 is passing. 2. How much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Full. I think full of the best I can get. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 passing. And 4 can't do anything. I mean, I could maybe sell some. No, I can't sell anything. Okay, well, that's it. We arrange the player order and we pay the interest on on that loan. Interest was $441, so I lost $141. Like I went $141 more into debt with everything I produced. I thought I was going to be under because that big $300. I forgot. Look, I was, I don't know. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I ended up that much in debt. Like, the train was $750. I had some cash, right? But $750 plus $325 is $1,075. If I was at 880, which is what I got here, oh, I had to buy 2 trains. That's why. Okay. Yeah, but I thought one of them didn't put me in debt. I thought it was only the second one that put me in debt. I have no idea. Whatever. He's running, you know, God, I don't know how much of a deficit now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 900, 923, something like that. Which means it's going to cost, $460 to break even and not increase that debt. He's going to end up at a negative score if he's not careful. I also have to watch and make sure that, if anybody buys a share of that, I've got to, well, I don't have to, but I may want to sell in order to reduce my debt. I don't know, because that's my only moneymaker, and this thing does not have a lot of stock value, so it might just be better off holding. Right then. Got the ordering here. It was pretty easy to do. Tons of money here, a lot of money here. This was relatively close between 3 and 4. I think his holdings are better, but I'm not sure. But that he may actually overcome the 3rd place position. It depends, right? Like, this guy is planning on trying to get himself a train. with the thought that the big train works. If the big train doesn't work, if saving up for the big train with partial swallows and whatnot doesn't work, this guy, well, he may end up in first just by playing more conservative. And that's the I take a different tack from everybody else concept in play there. Put these here. I don't think we're going to see many shares come out. Those last two companies, there's just not certificate space for them. You know, this happens every now and then in a few XXs where it's like there's a real loser company. This one doesn't look too terrible. This one looks cut to shit. Might be able to fight its way out. Might not. Not worth the risk. But this one has a lot of space that it can run in, I think. Although it is rather dotted out up here. So yeah, I mean, it's undeveloped space. And then the miners, well, if you're taking this guy, your miner isn't really going to help you. If you can hook in here and get this, you might be able to float a miner there, but you're probably going to be using all your cash on hand. You will have 5 extra shares, but they'll be in the bank pool. Yeah, no. I don't see either one as at all attractive at this point compared to, you know, the big deal that you get with a presidency is you get an extra certificate limit, right? That's always the big deal in an XX game. And if all the companies kind of make the same money, that's great. It's worth having. It's not worth giving up a share, you know, even an extra couple shares in one of your in good corporations, either as investments or as ownership, just to run a company, especially when most of the track's already out. You know, the game is kind of fixed in this horrible place. Now, what kind of makes up for this? Well, the concessions, as with everything else in this game, are kind of a random setup. So there's no guarantee that these two companies would be the bad companies. There's nothing specifically bad about this compared to this or this. You know, they're both northern corporations that have to kind of settle their way into the valuable stuff. But it does mean that the late forming concession, the late forming companies might just not form. There's just no reason. There's too many certificates that are worthwhile and not enough certificate limit. This game has a ridiculous certificate limit in my view. I don't know what that opens up in terms of, like, it definitely opens up a, look, if there's a good company out there, you have to make a hard choice. But right now there's just two bad companies, so the choices are not that hard. You might be able to convince me one of these two companies isn't that great, but they have their access to the rich stuff. And they have their big runs set up and everything. I just don't really see. Is an investment necessarily a bad idea? Maybe. So if somebody's swallowing with a if you know somebody's going to be swallowing with a corporation, they're not going to make the kind of money that they appear to be making here. Even if they're doing a kind of clever swallow like we're doing here, where we're doing half swallows and whatnot, in order to make sure that we go forward in stock value, they're still not making as much as we might. And maybe that president's share is better than a share of the other of another company. But this is the thing. You need 50%. You need to hold 4 certificates of the piece of shit. And there just isn't limit for it. And there's not much opportunity. Like, yeah, you're going to have a big train. But it's not an open field right now. So into the operating round, I paid the privates out. And we've only got 3 miners left. This thing, fuck, I forgot. He wanted to exchange this for something. I don't know what. He certainly doesn't want to hold it and take 2 more hits. So that's $135. What can I buy with it? This might affect the ordering. I'm going to have more money than I did, but not as much as him. I'll be in good shape there. So yeah, which looks better, the Mexican or the FCP? I think the Mexican's got a higher score here. The FCP has room for growth. The Mexican has the possibility of problems or great wealth. I'll buy a cheap Mexican. It might jump up in stock value. On top of that, let's take care of a couple other little things. This goes away. Nobody's got a share of it. I don't want a landmine out there of shares that can be bought that'll just drop in value and do nothing. You're not allowed to lay track because these tokens can't be used for any game purpose. Okay. Beyond that, the 19 is going to die, and that is this one, which sucks this into here, doesn't make any new openings. Actually, it closes up an opening that was there for anyone who wanted it. These all move forward for whatever that matters. It matters which one's first, but there are no new ones to put in. I did that. I think that's all we got. And we got 3 miners that are all with train, looking healthy, and at least as far as we can tell, intending to run for some time. And again, figuring the track configurations in this, and it was the same in 18OE and to a lesser extent in some of the others. It's a nightmare because of the fucking angular track. I'm beginning to understand why the curve tracks, or curvilinear, whatever, it doesn't seem any more reasonable to me, are appreciated in so many games. Okay. Figuring out the run for the 16 is going to be, again, something of a nightmare. I don't have a valuation to know what I was making before. I remembered to put the 60 in this time, as well as, I think, all the other privates, but who the hell knows. So, one of my choices for a run, I've got a Pullman, is basically 1, 2, boink, boink, up, come down here, 3, and then this is worth more than this because I can extend out to those, make sure I don't have a mail contract. Mail contract, oh, that's not a mail contract. Where's a mail contract? Mail contracts are red, yeah. Just curious whether I could have. Is pretty decent. So the important part from this little piece here is going to be very similar no matter what I run. Because another run I could do is essentially boink, boink, 2, 3, boink, 4, boink, 5, and maybe I can, work around that, hit another boink, whatever. Upgrades are going to give me as much as the boinks are. So, what is our valuation on these? If we count this, we're looking at here 50, 60, 70, 80, 110, 120, 130, in addition to the core. And if we look coming down this way, we're looking at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 120. So right now, coming up this way, but I have to make, but here's the difference. It's the same amount of money. It basically is, because my upgrade here could be an upgrade of track somewhere else. And now, if I upgrade this track, but this opens things up, right? Does it open anything up for the red? It does. All right, I'm going to go this way, take a little less money because of other track improvements. I want to make sure I get the right track in that location because I can only add one sprong, and that's this one. Me, of course, I can't do that. I'm upgrading brown track. All right, back to the drawing board. Question is, do I want to pay 20 bucks to get a little bit extra here? That's all. Because without this, I don't go anywhere. And I think the answer is no. I'll just put a fucking yellow cube. And I'll take, I guess 120 is what it comes to. I don't remember. I don't fucking care. What I did was I had already paid out 65, I guess 125. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. No, I don't know. Yeah, it went from 130 down to 120. So it went to 60 and 60 instead of 65, 65. I didn't recalculate any of the runs, trying to save a little bit of time here. Because this fucking game is killing me in terms of the burdens that it lays, including things like, the miners can't lay browns and stuff like that. It's just, usually the miners are gone, so they can't lay browns because they don't exist on the board. All right, that puts us to the 7, which looks really, really questionable. Mainly because it's just cut off fucking everywhere. I do not have a big run, and I don't have any immediate exciting improvements that I think I can make. I could upgrade this to green. Is that a place I want to hit? Probably not, because I probably want to come down and hit this. I think I'm running a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but this is only worth 40. This is worth 80. So if I upgrade this instead, I'm assuming that track exists. Is there a boot plug? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's my best track light. 10 is also not that impressive. Like, I was looking at, hey, maybe it can make money onto it. Yeah, this is not much better, or it's no better than this. It may be the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got the same run. I might be able to break out and improve, but it's not absolutely clear to me how I would do that. I think I'll put a cube here or something. I mean, I could break out up this way, but this is pretty compact. There's some valuable stuff up here is the point. But I'm running a 6 train and I'm only going 5. Now this guy was running a 7 and only going 5. It's more valuable to him to break out up there. But it might be worth cutting down this way and hitting Mexico City, and putting a cube here might somehow help me do that. Another possibility would be a cube here. I can't go there though. I don't have any track leading there. Yeah, let's just put the cube in. Hope somebody fixes things. So I only ran a few miners and probably should go on. This game is just so tedious and exhausting in terms of the amount of decision making to be made and in terms of the track calculations and everything. I'm taking a break. At least I got my laundry running. I gave up on one of the things that was preventing me from doing laundry was a lot of the stuff that I have that's dirty right now is stuff that I usually hand wash. Well, I don't have that energy anymore. Tried running it on the delicate cycle. I hope it doesn't all get destroyed. I was noticing that my more delicate stuff, the silk shirts and stuff, got destroyed. I think t-shirts even too, old t-shirts. I think that my washing machine here is more vigorous and destructive than the one that I had in Phoenix. Maybe an older one or whatever, but yeah. But I figure, it's not like I make a lot of dirt in my clothes. Sometimes there's food that is problematic, but yeah, for the most part, You know, every now and then I got a pair of jeans that get really muddy or something like that. But for the most part, yeah, you know, I'm just removing the sweat and stuff like that. Certainly for all the delicate stuff, that is the case. Anyway, want to talk, don't want to play. That's what it comes down to. Back again. At the very least, I got laundry done this week. That's what it's come to. I used to do one thing a day, kind of, or try to. Now I'm like aiming for getting something done each week. Not something big either, you know? All right, on to the majors. Something, I remembered to do this and then immediately forgot when I filled out the end of turn stuff. I forgot to raise the stock values of the sold out stuff. So the Mexican Central, both of these. Yellow is still not sold out. There's one kick in there. There will be room for it to sell out at some point, and obviously orange is not going to be sold out at this point. Okay. Nobody's got shares in their company, do they? Because that prevents it, which is kind of a reason, again, this weird disincentive to buying stocks back, which, again, 1870 does it right. You know, when a corporation buys its stocks back, they're not sitting there watering down the other stocks. The whole point is to do the opposite of things like splits and whatnot, which throw more shares into the market and thereby water down the value. It's a means of boosting the value of stocks, and yeah. Okay, and again, starting with the MC. I'm trying to build through here so I can skip this, hit that. There's still not a brown Y available, which would have been a nice money gainer. There are brown here. I might want to do that, but I don't know. And I inched my run up to 41. What do I do with the money? I've decided I want to have that extra train. 41, half payment puts some of it out. However, 1, 2, 3, 460. So I could get a 7 train. I don't want a 7 train. I want the E. Which means I will half swallow. Complicated than that. Half swallow gets me $200. That'll give me enough, but I've got that stupid 2p. The 2p is actually worth 15. I could not swallow that at all. So that 41 minus 15 takes me to a 26. God, I fucking hate this shit. I really do. 26, 30. I don't know. I don't remember what my runs are anymore. 41, 26, and 15 makes 41. If I half swallow... Okay, what if I full swallow the 150 and full pay out the 26? That still doesn't give me this. I'll just do what I'm doing. So $200 go in here, and I pay out at 21 a share, I guess. Up my run a little bit by connecting this up and make an extra $20 off this. But instead, I'm going to upgrade this for an extra $10 because that'll get me towards upgrades that'll get me to skip this town that I want to skip. Because this kind of calculation for the, this kind of flexibility with run prices is so fucking weird to me. I keep coming back and doing the runs. So it's 35 and 10. I make it 10 off the LP hitting here. I've got 35 off my base run. That gets me an extra buck on my total run. Oh fuck, not for this. I don't remember what the MC ran at. I don't remember what it ran at. I moved it instead, I think. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I really don't. But these don't actually affect anything. especially at this point. Okay, so what was that? That was like 26 and 15. I think that was at 41. So this is at 45. Yeah. But how do I want to play that, right? So if I half pay out the main train, what did I say? That was 35. That makes not enough. Not enough to move forward twice. Do I care if I move forward twice? I don't know. What if I swallow the whole amount? I don't think I want to do that, but 450, that would put me to 750, 800. Not enough. So what am I able to pay out to move forward? I think a half swallow and dump this into the company. Oh wait, I have the National Mail Service too. So that's half the undoubled, I think. Yeah. Half the undoubled, which runs at 10, 14. I get 70 bucks in there. Make that 75, 100. That'll help my calculations a little bit. To have that money there right now. And this should be in the company. I don't know. I took it out to read and then put it down somewhere stupid. And now, what am I talking about? I got 45, 450. That would put me to 875. Still not enough. 875 is, I don't know. Do I just want to half swallow this? $225 would put me well over 1,000 for the full swallow. I could actually hold even next time by just putting the LP in for 100. Yeah. It's just fucking crazy. The amount of calculations and different choices you have for how you want to fucking swallow is just getting too much. Half swallows are bad enough, but the amount of manipulation you have available to you here is just beyond my abilities. Not to figure each one out, but to make the decisions based on everything else. So I'm kind of trying to wing it, but when you give me that much information and I know I can figure it out, and this is the problem I have with like Age of Renaissance and a lot of the heavier Euros, which is you're giving me enough information I could calculate every fucking thing out, and therefore I want to do that. And then I start getting into trouble trying to do it because I'm not good at it, right? And what ends up happening is I end up spending like a half hour on a player action. Like I said, this game is just going to be an AP nightmare for myself, but I think for a lot of other groups as well. Like for a lot of other players. I'm suspecting there will be like 2 to 3 players in any 5-player game of this who are going to be stuck with AP at least for a long time. Yeah. Anyway, where are we? I've got like an 875 on a full swallow at this point. I'm probably not going to do much better on my run right now. This thing can play out a little bit, and then I can absorb it and get some cash. Right? Probably break even if I absorb it. Okay, no biggie there. So, is there anything I want? Isn't the problem, but I can buy investment shares, even if I don't. No, because I absolutely need another fucking company. I absolutely need another company. And I don't have enough certificate space without dumping a share to start a corporation and take that extra 6 train. This is the problem. These people are juggling. They have full train complements if they absorb their miners, but they kind of need the miners for the cash, like this guy especially really does. So he's going to need to start something else for that 5 train if he wants this money that he thinks he's going to get. But he has tons of money. It's just like, yeah, what do I do though? You know, do I start a corporation? I think I'm close to enough spaces. Yeah, I'm in the same position he's in, where I have to sell a share to start a real corporation. So like a miner becomes interesting, but a miner is really kind of crappy. It takes up a space for you. Probably a worthwhile one, but who knows? Who the fuck knows? So yeah, I'm at, let's try to remember the number again. This is where the AP comes in, because my mind jumps to something else, tries to figure a different pathway and whatever, and I forget where I am. I'm at 875 in my cash here, if I swallow now, which means I need another 200 or 125, but maybe more than that. Although I have the mail service, 125. I don't know. What did the mail service make me? I don't remember. Looks like 90. Is that what I gave? I don't think so, but who knows? No. Looks like 80, 100, yeah, 90. So if I'm going to get 90 on the next run, that means I don't need much at all. Why don't I just throw, what was I at? I'm running an LP, that's 100. If I, not this company, if I run and pay out 35, I go forward 2. Let's try that. See if that does it. This weird dichotomy where if I want to start another miner, this thing, which is not particularly useful, right? It's not that good. I want to run it for a while to collect a decent amount of money and get in there, but there's a timer ticking down. Will be no more miners, and I may be in competition with someone else. I definitely will, if there's anything good left. Ouch. But this isn't that good. This is good for me. It's not that good as a run in and of itself, unlike some of like the 16, which is actually pretty good, and I may not want to kill it because it's so good and there's nothing good left for. But he was looking at just trying to run and get the cash in here and swap it in, but now there's, you know, the only good fucking miner disappeared. It got eaten over here. It was in the #1 bid spot, and nobody could afford to manipulate it that way. So that puts me down to this. I'm already into time when I should be playing Raid, but whatever. That's because I woke up at like 8 p.m. today. I was up until 11 in the morning, so it's not that terrible. Well, I remember the clock being at 11 something in the morning. So we're talking about 8 hours of sleep, and I was awfully tired. But the problem is that means tomorrow, which is dancing night, I have to do something to get my sleep schedule in such a place where I'm awake at like 4 or 5 p.m. And I don't know what that means. For the FCP here, I have a couple of interesting choices with track situations. One thing I can do, like long term, I can close this and put a large port here, which is worth 60 at this point, which is better than most things I'm going to be hitting. The T is worth 50. I could upgrade that, but to make the port work, I have to kind of break through and skip this town, because I would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go through my destination space. Okay, and that's great. But then what's up with the E train that I'm looking at? The E train, if I can get it, I want to run through here, down, and then up here, and that doesn't get me back down here. Okay, I don't want to do that. I want to go through here, down, hit here, and then come up. And that would actually work. I have another dot. Where's the 16? Yeah, that dot is up to me to place wherever I like, which, given the path I just took, might be somewhere back here of value. Like, if I can cut through and hit here, that would be fantastic. But that looks like a lot of work, but maybe other people do it for me, and I can hook it up so that I can't be dotted out here eventually. So yeah, maybe. So I think my key goal then is to start working on this route. I managed to improve my run. This was all pretty much built up already. Although I'd like to upgrade this tee, get some more money, whatever, but I feel like other things, you know, that's what, $10. So I'm marking these as a 30 and a 20 as my two different trains. Seems kind of crazy that I only get a 30 off of my destination route down here. That seems obscene, to tell you the truth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. And I got no Pullman or anything, so. But, and that I can get a 20. No, I can't get a 20. I can get a 10. Oh, I must have cheated last time. Oh, what a fucking shame. Because this runs at 10:20. I got too much money, and I don't know where I ended up with too much money. Whatever. All kind of stupid little special trains all over the fucking place. There's just so many little things in this fucking game. But I'll leave it be. I don't give a shit. We're just trying to get an overall picture, but he probably... I keep cheating in favor of this guy, one way or another. Must be that red company. So what does that mean? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500. If I wanted to eat that, so this is not 50, it's just 40. And it looked so good before. Am I right? Let me recount. Because that 30 just seems ridiculous. 10, 15, 19, 22, 30. Yeah, that's all it makes. Fucking garbage. And then this is 10, 20 divided by 2 is 10. I gave it the full 20 last time. Let me eat $100 out of here. That'll make up for that, right? Because I think I did a swallow with that and not with the other. So yeah, so that gives me $400. A full swallow isn't going to do it. My stock value is at 120. I could get a double move off of 30. A single move off a half payout of the 30. What's up with this? Do I want to swallow this into my company or not? It would have to be next stock round in order, or next operating round in order to take advantage of any of this. That's going to be a good deal of money. That's going to be a good amount of trains. What would I want? The 22 is back here. And doesn't look terrible. The 1 is not absolute garbage, but is pretty bad. And the 4 is... That's not the 4. The 8. I'm sorry, the 4. Where's the 4? It's got to be this, right? Yeah. Is not particularly good. Like, I like this better. It's got an opening coming down. Actually, right now, I can get all the way down. Especially if I have a corporation to connect to it, but that's not likely. I think there are 2 decent companies, so I'm going to look at running this in. How much money do I make with this? I don't remember anymore. I don't have any reminders for that. So, fuck me. Which means... I don't really care too much about stock value. I think I'm gonna... Yeah, but I don't know. You know, I just don't fucking know. So, if I make 150, 250 in here, that would be 650. That might be enough. Might not. Okay. Let's do that. Let's half swallow this train and swallow this one. We put out a grand total of 15 a share payout, which we did. We have a fair amount of money here, 650. We're working our way. We need the E. We can't buy the E until after we have this, and we have a miner that can take this over, and all kind of shit like that. But it should make God runs if it gets that, even with just a 5 train. Okay, that's fantastic. Now to the guys who probably are pretty easy comparatively because, well, at least this one I don't think is going to do anything too exciting. This guy might buy the company, but it's going to be a long time. He doesn't care about anything anymore. He just wants to kill himself. Well, it's not going to agonize too much about their track lay. They're going to play it here because that works for what they intend to do in the long-term future, which is run through this. Do I need to? I don't know, maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't make it to my home. I could be blasting up here, which would get me my destination city. I don't know. Hey, fuck it. I don't give a shit. So, because there might be a better run up here because this is such shit right now. I don't remember what I did last time. I know that I have a 28 target here. So this would be 100, 200, but I could go this way. This was available to me. So 100, 200, 230, 270, 310. This is looking better. Yeah, fuck my track lay. I'll build some of this out so I can make my doubled hit for here, but right now this isn't bad. I have no goddamn clue how this thing was set up. I think it didn't go into here, which may have meant this. That looks probable. Okay, and that means my run, well, I need to start building there. What is this? Yellow. Yellow has Dick Cheese for money. I have an upgraded docks. That's not going to help me with anything. That's just cash I'm getting. I'm not going to be hitting that shit. So I think I'm going to be running the same. I'm going to be running up this way, right? And that means that I want to build track for this to get rid of this. I wish I had to destroy a town, but I don't. So I think I'll start the slow move forward. I can either come down this way or come up this way. I'll just... I don't know. This can only really help me, so someone else might build some of this other track instead, and I don't have the cash to blast through anything anyway, so no biggie there. And what's my run? 100, 200 on 3, 230, 270, 310, and then we swing up here, which gets me, I wanted to say 450 for some reason, 390. And I could have probably made that last time, or close to it. I don't see anything that really... This might not have hooked up, but I certainly could have made better than I did. Anyway, what do we do with that 39? We're just paying out. That's our strategy at this point. All the other games that, well, I don't know about all. I think I've maybe faced this kind of destination before, where the destination is always like active with a home to destination run. But most of the things that I'm more familiar with, the destination is either something you need to get to, like in 1856, to make your company work better, basically. You don't get all your revenue in 1856. This is the worst part of it. Like in 1856, I think you can only collect half your revenue off of until you reach the destination that you announced to do from sale of stocks. So you really need to get there if you want to keep your companies alive. Now there's ways of making companies not live, which gets you around that. But in 1870, the destination gives you a token and a bonus run. I don't think it gives you any bonus after that. It's just now you have this extra token, which is, useful. The bonus run is huge, though, and I think it doesn't hurt you if you swallow it, which tends to give you a jump towards your trains. Anyway, we're in the orange here. I had to look up where my home is. Destination is over here. I don't know if that matters particularly, but I'm trying to figure out where do I run a 7 train for this. Last time I was able to get 32. I don't know how much I can do this time. My best move is connecting this sucker up, because then I can run 10. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. See, I got rid of a problem. I got rid of a boink, but I don't really care about the boink. What I care about is getting into somewhere else. Like, just avoiding the boink doesn't help me. Was I avoiding this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I got a nice little 6 run there. Now, if this turns gray and goes down this way, I can get to my destination, which is where butt kiss right now. I don't know. It's just a fucking nightmare. I could also get to my destination by connecting this up, going up into there, but that misses me the big 100, which I definitely would like to be able to hit. That has to be a terminus. What does that mean? Okay, what if I go this way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right now, this doesn't do me a lot of good. This destination token and all the shit relating to that. Could it later? I don't know. That little, like running that 7 train would be really sweet if I could avoid, so what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to here, if I connect everything up, right? If I can avoid this town, I can get down to what I want to call New York, Mexico City, and have a really nice run. Right now, and that doesn't involve any upgrade here. Right now, I can run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is probably about what I did before. And what was it I wanted to do? I wanted to upgrade this if that's the case. But maybe I need to break in or something like that first. I think everything that I do here, it's just not going to help my my run otherwise at this point. Now, this is an upgrade without an upgrade, but it still takes 2 track lays to get me there. No. The single most important thing is probably to get this dot. So let's do this upgrade first. It gets me to a puny 34, but I go forward twice, And I pay out because I've got this ridiculous loan that I can't afford. Wait, the mail service, ha 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 ha, that's worth $18.90. I believe the end of the operating round, we move it here. I don't know if I'll see you again, ever, I hope. But unfortunately, if this goes up, I made it through. But, yeah. Alright. This is pretty shitty. It's Friday, and I got about an hour and a half of sleep. It's about 10 a.m. now. I feel like I'm tired enough, but I just can't sleep. The video, whatever I have on, is keeping me awake, whatever. I set my alarm for 4, which is a good time to wake up if I do. And I'm back down here to do at least a little bit. I'm hoping I can get through the operating round, otherwise it kind of sucks. And so, yep, still 3 miners. It shouldn't take that long, I say. And I feel like the tokening may have fucked the 16. I can still go up this way. Okay. I'm just looking, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I was doing. These must have been already there. But I'm just wondering if there was some way. What got added? What got added was this orange one here. But I don't know that the 16 was able to navigate that. I think this token is new. This purple one here, or one of them. I don't know. The thing that's definitely new is that this is closed off now, because the miner that was here went away. Prohibition against building brown track for the miners again. I'm like, oh, that's where all my bonuses are, honestly. So I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4. Connected this to get an extra 5, and then I can come down, I guess. For what? 10, 15, 18, 19, 22, 23, 24, 28, so 140, 140. 7 upgraded this, and now its run is from up here in Houston, coming down, and then heading this way because there's a doinker here. This city is worth more than these two together. Can't upgrade to brown, right? But I needed this connection anyway. And that gets me a path that runs for 270. So we're starting to, I think we're actually going to decrease the principal, I think. Pen's in kind of an ugly situation. I could conceivably, I don't know what the purple train actually uses. It's running a 6, trying to remember, with a P. So I think it's coming up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I was going to put my cube here. I'm going to put it here. Because I am allowed to add. So the yellow to green now only adds 1 in general. Cities add 2. But it's not optimal. I'm trying to avoid this so that I can cut through here. I'm not really convinced that the 10 can do a hell of a lot. I was thinking about, I was putting a cube here because I want to put a hook here, try to get into Mexico City here. But that's going to be a lot of work, right? And it requires this brown to be upgraded, or this brown to be upgraded. Something has to happen that I can't do, but I can hook up or upgrade to. But that means my run, I don't remember what my optimal run was. I want to be coming out of here 1, 2, I'm running a big 6. It was either 3, 4, 5, I think it was, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in both cases we hit here. This is worth 120. This is worth 110 for the extra city. I couldn't figure out a way to hit one more location. So that's going to run at 50, 60, 70, 80, 120, 160, only 240, which is still good, 120 and 120. But that's sort of the low end of things. We're seeing this is, the 16 is still running a little better than everything else. Problem is, if I want to get the E-train, if I want to absorb this and get the E-train, I don't think that works, because I have to do the absorption this turn. Right? Probably. I can't afford to buy a miner, can I? Like, this would run, get some cash on it. The miner would buy the 6 from it with whatever cash it has, and then it could be absorbed next turn. So all I'd need to do is free up a share to be able to jiggle things around. And then I could absorb this, get one more run, another $100. But well, this one's cheap. So I actually do have a possibility of the miner. But in order to even bid on the miner, I have to sell one of my certificates coming onto the stock round. I think I'm going to have to do the stock round too. Oh boy. On the other hand, it's a pretty good rail, but I kind of want to get the P here. I've just got so much of a percentage of my company, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 80%, that this doesn't pay out as much. But on the other hand, you know, it's paying out a lot for one certificate. And so, like, keeping a miner is a good idea. I absolutely need a miner with both of these players because they have an extra train over and above the E that they're aiming for. And that is kind of the issue here. Like the juggling that they're doing. Anyway, I'm on the MC, which is working on its own E-train, I guess. We have a couple of choices. I was going to just lay this. That hooks me up to my destination space. But my destination space is worth 80. This is worth 80. Yeah, but I don't hit it yet. Alright. I was thinking, I may want the Y more because there's a limited number of Ys. Well, they're all gone anyway. We gotta wait for Ys to upgrade to gray before I can get that one. So yeah, this is the piece I want to play. No Pullman on here. I thought I had a Pullman. Which I need, because to do my run is this. So I gotta try to reproduce whatever the hell I did here. Now, whatever I did there doesn't actually require that I go through here. So this might not be the piece. This might be what I want for now. Doesn't get me up to this value. That gets me up to like 35 or so. I got to figure out what I did. And therefore, I may not want this because the 5's not running that. And if I get an E, the E's not going to run that either. I'm in the nightmare of this angular track and what it can do. Now, there's an extra dot down here, and that may be the issue that I'm looking at. Because the destination is absolutely unimportant as long as this exists. Because instead of hitting the destination for double, I can hit this. But I'm not really sure where my 5 train was running. It could have been running 1, 2... Well, no, this wouldn't have made it through. Got no fucking clue. It's got to be running down here, I guess. If I was running through here, I really don't know. I'm not finding anything like a 41 run. Well, 31 plus the 10 for the 2P. I am not seeing anything like this, but maybe this was the one that, like, I ended up moving one of them wrong and I thought it was there. So this may be a bogus price. You know, wait a minute. This is my doubled for him. I don't remember. Like, I feel like I was fucking around. I'm getting the purple and the, because I was running the 10 and I was counting this as the doubled when I looked at the stuff. For this one, I think what I need to do, let me see if I can do better. Oh no, because it's not going to my home city, which is the big deal. But what was this doing? This might be it. 10, 11, 14, 18, 26, 32. That's it. And 10 more is 42. So that's the run I want. I would love to get my Y upgraded. That's not going to help me. I'm going for an E train, which means upgrading this Y would do me something. So I guess we'll do that. What was I coming? Yeah. So hitting this doinker is worth it for the doubling of that compared to everything else, because this is like 10, 20, 27. And this, the run from here would be 10, 13, 17, 21, 27. And instead of 27, I'm getting 32 by going from home to station, which is what I ran before, apparently. I just ignored it because there's so many doinks, but I'm only hitting one of them, so that's apparently not that bad, right? 1, 2, 3... Oh, fuck. Hold on. I'm miscounting. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, and 8 is 26. But if I hit this, I improve on that. Okay. I don't think I get to the 42. I may have miscounted last time then. I remember this from 18OE, and I don't know, maybe the EU one as well, but definitely in 18OE, I remember having a hellish time getting the train runs right, whereas I usually don't have that much trouble in an XX game. So now we're at 10, 11, 13, 21, 27. Isn't that what I was just at? What the fuck? This is... That's what I can get here. 10, 27. So this doesn't make any sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, maybe I was hitting here then here. So I don't have to go through that. Let's recount. 10, 11, 14... 18, 26. Yeah, that would be the same as this. Yeah. I don't fucking know. We're going to make us 28. I'm going to upgrade this because that helps my E train. That gets me to 38 to play with. Now I get to do the cash fun, right? I'm at $700. I could buy the train right away. With a swallow, right? You know, 38, but 100 of it is this, 28 of it is the other. We could mark that this way. I have 720. $720 plus 280 sounds like it gets me to 1,000 perfectly, which means I will pay out 10 a share, and that's not going to send it forward, but it's also not going to send it back. But I get $280 in here, enough to buy a train now. Good idea? I don't know. Sure makes people less interested in selling shares of it. Special happens with buying that big boy. It's just an option that's going to make lots of money because I can run over the same track with it and hit all my stations, making double for the stations. It may well behoove me to try and put yet another station in. I will also be getting the home to destination station because I can do this fucking route that I've been setting up. I can run through here because it's empty for now. I can hit here. I could conceivably put a station there. I don't really see a way that I can get down there easily. I mean, I guess I could curve through here. You know, conceivably. I don't know. Anyway, we don't have the $100 to drop a dot anytime soon. So we're going to have some cash, though, coming in, which is kind of nifty. The other thing we got to do, and this will help our situation, we got to grab the stock drop. And we got to grab these 3 cubes, which I think just go away. I'm going to put them on the cube card to help remind me what's going on there. But that doesn't produce any income or anything. It's just to help remind me what's up. Stock value didn't move. Partial payout. And we hit the FCM. And already somebody's, going into next round, ready to play that big boy game. A lot of cash here. Do I want to absorb that, or do I run that? That's the big question, because I got the money that I can bid myself a company. I probably have the money that with a swallow I can just get the E-Train. So I have to decide if I want that P on here. That's the thing. That P is not all that important for the 16 anymore. But I need to think real hard about, I think the 5P helps this. But I'm not even sure, right? I got these here. I got all this shit that maybe I can run through. I doubt it because there's only one track connecting here. Alright. So I can come up over here. I can get 2 of the 3. I can come up this way here, down. That way I don't have to make that connection. Hit these doinkers. This is why the P is of value to me. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut up here to 5. And then maybe hit some doinkers down here with some local runs down there. Which sounds like a big shitload of money. And the 16 is not able to do that much. I can't move the P, though, on its own. I have to buy the 16 to get that P. I can't just hey, give me that for $1. But now the question then is, what about these other companies? How do they work with a 5? Well, this is not there. The 1, I could break in and use a 5 with that, right? It could come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty low range stuff, but it would hit it all. The 4, which is here, 1, again, low range stuff, but it'll build up. It'll be worth some money. And it gets me my P where I want it. And then the 22, which is down here, which is a lot iffier. This is worth 50. These are going to be worth 50 in the end. That's a little weirder. But I could be running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eventually. The 22 looks the iffiest of the bunch, to tell you the truth, except for the fact that I hit that big $100 there. This could get into there. That's a little nice. Los Angeles, San Diego is actually quite wealthy, so that's not bad. This is a nice 60 up here. There's some nice stuff up there. I don't know. For me, this is important in terms of, do I want to lay track to help one of these? These guys range around 22 right now. This range is at 21, but I think has a little bit more capacity for growth by avoiding some of the doinkers, maybe. But they all have capacity for growth, building up to brown with the appropriate setup. Now let me look at his run, see if I can make his run better, because maybe I don't want to lay track for one of these other, for one of the miners, particularly if I can make money. They all look about equal to me right now. Now one option I have here is I come out of the port, which I can throw down. 1, 2, build this. 3, 4, 5. That gets me the doubled here. It gets me it gets me the port. It gets me my destination to there. It ignores this token. I still have the 3-2 train, which could run up here. I think right now I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be better, but in order to do it, I need to lay a track as well. It's going to juice me up to 44. 34 for the main, 10 for this that I tried to cheat with again before. Okay, not this time. I didn't this time. And that brings me to the money issue. By the way, the guy who does play this a lot, who's watching this, and God help him, I mean, as I'm doing, so much 4-hour fucking videos and everything, I can't believe anybody's watching and closely enough to catch a bunch of stuff and to make comments and whatnot. I'm insane enough playing it. He pointed out that, he doesn't like the certificate limit in 5 players. But I look at, and only plays it in 3 and 4, but I look at the 3 and 4 player and I'm thinking, wow, it still feels low. It feels low. I don't know. I mean, 13, I don't know. I got no idea. What I'm thinking is 1830. So, I'm like, 1830 has a certificate limit of 11. But that's in 6. This is an incredibly low certificate limit for a game with so many fucking... First of all, it has as many companies as 30 does, right? 1, 2, it has 5, 6, 7. It's one short on major companies. But it's got the NDEM shares and then these miners. I just don't feel like there's enough room to manipulate everything you'd want to do. If you're going to go for a big run and have a miner, you can't have 2 companies that way. And I don't know, these poor schmucks crashed so hard that they're not going to have room for another thing. But they don't really have the share limit either. This guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He could get a miner, which he can't afford to have. This guy's got his miner already. He's low on shares. He might start a corporation, but there's probably better investment stocks out there. But the thing is, he's not allowed to buy up a lot of his own, which everybody else is doing. For these more established companies, all those shares are really, really valuable, right? Especially... they start looking more and more valuable as they don't produce money and they start heading towards the E-trains. Sitting at 680. A full swallow of the 340 will get me my E-train. But I wanted to crash this to get the P in, which means I have to buy that. It's not E time for me yet, which I think means my run's not going to decrease. It's going to increase because of the Pullman. I think I just pay out that whole, what, 44 a share at this point. Which is enough. Oh, fuck. There I go again. I don't see these because I'm ignoring shit all over the board. All right. See, the fact that I have to ignore some of the tokens is what caused me to do this before. So I'm actually on this railway. I got to put a die on this one to remind me that I've figured out part of it, including this track lay here. Let me put a cube on the track lay and on this. Once again, you know, and part of it is because that's not that different, right? So it's really easy for me to think the MC and the FNM have both gone already or whatever. And I'm on the red. The red looks visible to me. All right, let's go to him. He has to buy his company, does he not? But let's figure him out. I think I got him wrong too. I'm getting him, but only at 44, so I was only like a buck off. I'm running a 6 train. 10, 15, 18, 22, 26, and 8 is 34. And then my LP is 10. Now, was there a better run? I highly doubt it because I'm running to my destination, right? And I just don't see anything else. Now, I can improve this. I can get it up to 45 by building that up. Was there some other route? I don't think so. I'm certainly not hitting many doinks for what that's worth. I don't know if there was some opening I was able to utilize that I'm not using now, but I just don't see where there's any slack in the rail, because I didn't want to say slack in the track. Yes, there is. So I could have hit this. So that would have been 10. No. I could have hit it this way. 10, 20, 23, 27, 31, which doesn't do it, right? That gets me to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know if I was skipping something. Like I'm thinking, well, this is only 8. That's what this is. Fuck it, man. You know? Maybe there was something going through here, but I don't think so. I don't see a path that I could have made. I think this number is an error, but maybe it got bumped. Maybe I paid out one too much. Anyway, I'm coming up with 44 again this time. And yeah, I'm using multiple cubes so that I can remember his position. I can boost that up to 45 with no problem whatsoever. The question is, what else might I want to do? Because what I eventually would like to do is this run. Oh no, I'm the purple. Yeah, I'm the purple. That's fine. Is this run, I hit here, skip this city so I can go through here. And is that worth more? Like right now, that's 40 for 80, so that's like a $40 difference. I can't make that now though. And there's also no piece, there's no piece that does what I want, is there? Like there's no special K I can only add one doinker, one prong at this point. Which means I think I just want to upgrade a city. And is there any city that particularly is appealing? Well, this one gets me double the money if I hit it. And I'm already doubling it, which is equaling that. So yeah, that's the one I want to upgrade. Am I allowed to? Yes. These grays all have a blank. What's up with that? What's up with that? Do they all? No. Okay. Good. That'll get me 36 and 10. Now here's the thing. What am I going to have to pay for the 10 train? I'm only going to have to pay $100. And I get this. Did I want this? Yeah. The 10 is not particularly special. That means I cannot buy a train, but I do have to make my money decision at this point. I would like to go forward 2 spaces if I can, but I would also like to get more cash into my company if I can. So I am going to swallow with the LP. Oh, I also have the National Mail Service, which gets me 75. Let me check. It's half the undoubled, right? Yeah, half the base and undoubled. So that's 150, gets me $75. Plus I can swallow 100 and still go forward a couple spaces. Because I'm playing with, more than the number of shares I'm used to, which is, most people usually have 5, maybe 6, right? But I'm getting lazy and using a calculator. These are calculations I can do in my head, but for when somebody has a huge quantity like 8 shares at 34, I'm like, yeah, let me multiply that out. Okay, so I've paid out, I've done that. I owe for this. I can only pay $100 for it. I have no shares, nothing. I have $700 in here. I want this. And I am going to take that dot, even though it's not a great dot. Like, it's not a fantastic dot, but it's an important one, I think. Although, it looks less so. Like, it looks like this is all going to open up. This fucking stupid angular track just allows everybody through everywhere, eventually. That's these. This, I think everything, I don't think there's anything exciting I have to do here. Why am I doing this? I'm not entirely sure. This is an okay company, right? But, like, why didn't I just go for the E-train like everybody else? I don't know. The idea of exchanging, well, everybody else may not be. This guy may not be. I may be exchanging companies, and I'm not really sure that there's any great advantage to doing so. I really wanted this dot at one point, and that's the thing. That's the only way that I get the extra dot. Like, I could shift it over here, and then it's a $100 dot that I can take, but right now it's just, I really want that token. Tokens, you have to engineer to get your tokens in this game, and it's through the miners. And now I don't need any more miners. Did I want this particular one? Yeah, I think so, because then I can grab this one. Although, ideally, if I'm getting an E-train, I probably want this one. And I can work around to try to hit another city if I need to. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just feels stupid that, like, this is upgraded and this is the dot I want. I don't know. All right. And that will... I did everything with this that I need to do. And that puts me back here, where I was trying to make the decision on what to swallow, what not to. I hadn't paid out yet. These tokens go away. All this shit goes away. The box is turning into a mess of stuff now. There's just so much in this game, so many pieces. Buy the 16, which is what I want to do because it gets me the P train and that's for the best. It'll cost me $330 out of the combined. So I'll be gaining 200 to this, so that's 6, 7, 850. That's a pretty good amount. What are my runs like? Well, I had decided 34. I'm at 135. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay out the 34 a share and take $100 into the company treasury, because I want a little bit more money in here, I guess. I don't know, because I mean, I have so much opportunity to throw money into my company treasury, whatever I want. But I don't want to be in a position. I want to be able to move forward twice, and I want to be able to do it next turn, which maybe I can do with, or I want to move forward as much as I can. So I think putting that $100 is nice. The biggie is I owe myself $330, which I have here. So I'm gonna steal some money from here. Well, I could just make change. Okay. 330. There's no shares or anything like that that I can exchange. There goes the 16. Here comes the 5, but more importantly the P, and all this money. So now I'm at like 950. I can do it again with a little swallow. Will a little swallow be good? If I'm running a 44, 34, that's 33. Excellent. Excellent. This is like almost the perfect amount of money. I cannot do anything with this dot. It just goes away. So I don't gain anything for that, but it does open up this city. Who does it open up to? It opens it up to purple, which might change purple's whole existence. Might it not? Not really, because I want to go home to destination and I can't get through here, like through here. Can I? Yeah, because I don't have this control of that. I do have control down here though. Whoop, 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 whoop. Wait a minute, this might be really great for them. So what might it mean? Because I got a Pullman 6 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'd have to do quite a bit of work. I'd have to blast through all of this and to get into there for that P6 to do me anything. It would be possible. What it does open up though and makes it very helpful is when I get the E-train can do this. But then I forego. So what am I gaining with the E-train? I'm gaining this city that I don't think I was going to be able to get otherwise. Like, I was able to slip in there before, but not now. I'm getting that city, but I lose Houston, which comes to I would be gaining this, which is definitely a good location, but that could be this, so I'm gaining like 10 bucks there, and then here, well no, not off the E. Off the E I don't hit this. So my dot might be here, which means, let's see, like if I put the dot here, I lose 20 bucks here but gain 50 there, essentially. So that is actually a really interesting space for the FNM. That just opened up something they very much want. And now I spat on paper that like can't handle saliva at all. Like, I mean, any paper gets a little stain or a little bulb or whatever, but this glossy stuff just, it's like any liquid just dissolves it, turns it into something that it is not even. All right. I think that's going to put me over to the FCP. I look at a projected, which I can't build right now because I don't have the cash, but I could, work towards it, of destination run coming down through here. And I came up with a 40 run. Last time I came up with a 39. I'm not too impressed with the difference. Obviously, there's a lot that can be upgraded along here. So in the long run, yeah, I probably want to make it. But, even counting this, essentially I'm hitting nothing but cities, what look like pretty good ones. So now I got to try to see how I got that 39 run off of the track that's currently here. Now, has anything changed? Well, this opened up. I can't swallow and buy a dot. That's the wrong order in any XX, but 39 is the real deal. I just calculated it. It's running up this way. It's perfectly valid. I don't think I want to improve that because there's too much chance that I can get blocked here. So I think what I do is I work towards building this stuff. Now, is there a single track lay I want to play somewhere else? I can't think of one. I don't have 40 bucks to blast, so I can't just drop 2 tiles down right now. Of course, that pays out full, and now I go to the other red line, which is not this one, no matter how much it looks at. So this looks more red to me than this right now. Did I maybe... They're the same fucking color. These aren't. You know what? Let me see. I may have misstickered that. That may be the issue here. If I have 2 orange spare counters, I made a mistake. The spares, there are none of those flat, those smaller discs or shorter discs. So I did not make a mistake. Like these, they're not that different either. I don't know. Yeah, I can't tell the difference in the coloring. Okay. So this is the MIR. This looks oranger. Looks kind of red there. I think it's just the color of the company on top of it is making the whole thing kind of an illusion of orange. But that sure looks red, and that sure looks red. I don't know. All right. This should be easy to do as well. And I'm running out of batteries again. I'm checking my privates because I have I have a lot of them here. This one's useless now, basically. It's just 10 bucks a turn. This one allows me to destroy a town, which might be useful. Didn't somebody do that over here? Yeah. But that's not where I'm running. We worked around this instead of, but we're getting $10 a round off of it. Why destroy it? Yeah, and we can't destroy this. We could destroy that, though, if we so desired. I don't think we're going to need to, because we want the destination run, I guess. I don't know. Upgrade this. Our idea being we're going to try to avoid as many of our own dots as we can. We're avoiding this one, we're avoiding that one. That gets me 10, 15, 20, because that's my destination. You'll see. 24, 28, 28 and 4 is 32, 37, 45 on a 7 run. Well, that's nice. Something weird was going on with those chits. Like, something seriously weird, because I know I got that run before with this company and then dropped it back or something. I have no fucking clue. And we're just going to pay that shit out, because what the hell? We had decided we don't care about the game. And maybe we break the bank, but like buying the E-Train, putting another $1,000 is going to hurt the bank. And we're kind of competing with him. Well, no, we're playing for last. We don't care. Although it's going to be a nasty stock round, I feel like I have to do it now. I'm pretty sure I've spent at least an hour down here. I'm not going to get enough sleep to go out tonight, but whatever. And I'm probably going to fucking go play Raid, because enough time has passed that I have a lot of energy there built up, and I don't want to waste any, or whatever it is. Oh, fuck. All right. First player is over here. Wow, there's like tons of room left, but we're thinking about bids. We've got an extra space. We can put a bid in. Mexican Central looks yummy. This thing, he's got lots of trains. I don't know what he's up to. Might be what I'm up to. Looks like it, but because he doesn't want 2 6s. Like, I'm pretty sure if you're doing juggling shit with trains, you're gonna get an E-Train. I want to hold this. Don't want to lose it. Looks better than anything else out there. So, question is which one I want to bid on, and the price is unimportant, right? Like $100 is fine. So my choices are the one, which is sitting on a T. That's not a bad location, actually. I didn't realize that. The 4, which is over here, I believe. What is this? The C. Yeah, this is the Chihuahua. And the 22. And the 22 just had things open up, but it's not going to stay that way. But that makes it intriguing for the short run. I'm going to drop my bid on the 22. It has the biggest growth potential. Is there anything else I want to do? Well, I can't do anything else, really. There's nothing else available. Once I made that choice, I'm done, because I need to keep my certs in line to hold that. And of course, my money doesn't matter, which means we go up to the other guy. Does he want the 22 as well? That's the $1,000 question, because the value of the 22 then gets bid up, and whoever doesn't get that grabs another one. It's like 11:40 at this point. I'm gonna get a couple more hours of nap. That's it. Fuck me. He's got an interesting opportunity, which is he could leave this space open. However, okay, the Mexican and the Mexicano, everything's Mexico, or the National Mexican, or the Mexican International. Good Lord. So those two cannot dot there. They already have one. Which means I have to worry about this guy. He doesn't have a dot available. This guy, he does. Would he want it? I don't know. But see, the whole point is, if I leave this open, that makes the route over to here much, much easier and more valuable. I'm also looking at, he was looking at a 5 train. I'm looking at a 6 train. So let's say it's a worst case scenario coming out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm actually not interested. If I leave this dot open, it's okay, because then I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's pretty good. But if I take that dot, which is what I was thinking about doing anyway, I want one of the other 2 companies. And now the question is, which one do I want? And that's a big, hard question, to tell you the truth. This is pretty locked out down here. I'd have to fight my way to get there. So I think I'm just going to bid $100 on the 1 instead. Which makes life a lot easier because we're not going to have a bidding war. A bidding war would be weird because both players would be trying to debate which one of the, how much is this, how much is the incremental gain, the marginal gain, between, the 22 and the 1, when I'm not even sure that the 22 is better, but yeah. Okay, so that's my bid there, and again, I'm okay because I just sold a minor. And I want to keep the Mexican Centrals. There's nothing better out there. That puts me on the Mexican Central. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 certificates because I got rid of a lot of privates, which means I have room for 2 more shares of things. The MIR is doing pretty well. And I would be helping sell this out. The problem with the MIR is its stock value doesn't go up by as much per space, but who cares? Because you can go up 2 spaces each time for longer. This isn't going to be able to do it for very long. So it'll catch up. Other option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 certificates. I could start a company. Is that worth it? Is that worth it? I mean, I have shit tons of money that aren't doing anything, but I'd have to sell some shares. I'd be able to keep 1 share, whichever one I like better, which I believe is probably this thing. Between the Pullman, the bonus, this one's got a Pullman and bonus as well, but it's got a 6 train. I can't, I don't want to calculate the route out. Although, honestly, with the amount of times you have to calculate in this game, it feels like you might as well. But I hate calculating stuff. I hate pre-calculating stuff. I like playing on gut. Well, what would I be looking at? There are 2 companies. There's this guy. He would not be going before the purple, who has a dot available to put in here. So let's assume we don't get that dot, which would be a big deal, because that would, well, not really. So, say we're running a 7 or an E, I don't care. We're not going to get a lot of dots for an E. So we could run 1, 2, this was not good. Running out this way looks blocked off. I don't think it's worth buying any of those companies. The other one, the Chihuahua, was up here, and this is already pretty much locked out. Sure, I could go play up there, but screw it. I just don't think it's worth it. I think buying the Mexicans is worth more. Everything's fucking called a Mexican. 4 here doesn't want to do a damn thing. That means we come down here, pay off the loan as much as I can. surprisingly to me, you make so much money in this game. I got that loan down to under $300. Of course, there's going to be another 150 added to it, right? But that puts me back. The two bidders don't have room for anything, so it's just this guy. He has room, I believe, for one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, one more Mexican. Chill pie. Two miners were bid at the same amount, the minimum possible. So the first one in the bid order, not the first one bid on, will end up in the higher position here. And each pair, shitty $100 there. And I thought I pulled them out already. There they go. The 1 and the 22. And I guess I'll put these here because they're not officially on yet. Initial housekeeping, can I buy a 7 for nothing? No, you cannot. Only the L trains get the initial housekeeping bonus. And now I figure out the stock order, or the order based on money. I guess he's got $0, not negative dollars. I'm not sure. Isn't heartening or something? His extra runs made him actually catch up and surpass. So he actually has more cash on hand than the pink player here, which is kind of intriguing. It's not going to hold though. That E-Train with all this is going to make so much money. But on the other hand, he only has 60% of his company, and we get rid of the 4. It goes away. The 1 and the 22, we got to get them where they belong. Return the cubes. And that is probably the last interesting at all stock round. It ended up a lot lighter than I feared. I thought we were going to bid on the same thing. Didn't look reasonable. The 22 may or may not be reasonable for him, but it didn't look good for him with the 6 train at all. So, I don't know. Yeah. And yeah, the competition really appears to be between these two. With him following the same route, but I don't know. We'll see, because he's going to make one big run, but it's not going to be $500 extra. It's going to be maybe $200 or $300 more than these guys make. But see, they have complicated stuff. No, because they'll be able to buy their train. They'll each be able to buy their train on their corporation turn, because the miners run first and buy the train from the corporation. And again, the miners are going to pay, essentially $100, because there's not much that they want to do. It's possible there might be some blasting that one side or the other. This guy doesn't really want to. This guy might want to save $20, so $21 or whatever. But yeah, they're gonna pay the maximum that they can to make it as easy as possible for the corporations to do the things the corporations want to do, which is buy the E-trains. So yeah, this guy's going to get outstripped eventually, but right now he's got a good $500 lead on the Mexican Central, which is interesting. All right, that's it for today. Probably won't be back until Sunday, assuming I'm still alive. I'd also catch this particularly rare sunrise. This looks like something out of Florida to me. I don't know. Just, yeah. Maybe I'm just always missing this part, but where the sun is so visible, dim enough you can stare at it. It looks, Anyway, so it's Sunday morning. It's a lot sunnier now, but there's still a thick layer of fog not up here, but down by the river, whatever. And I think that's what the sun was coming through. Where are we here? We're ready to start an operating round. We had a very simple stock round, actually. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the end game. Sure, there's 2 corporations out there if people want them, but it doesn't look like anybody's going for them. We don't have all the permanent trains out because there are a couple of miners that have to suck a train over in order for the corporations, these 2, to buy their E-trains. Then we're going to see some obscene runs. Well, first for the Mexican Central, while these guys kind of languish. Now, he's fighting to be positive. He'll make it. He'll make it. He actually made up a lot of the debt. And then over here, you know, like I said, he was trying to make a choice. If he did what everybody else did, he's in 4th place. If he does something different, I don't know, maybe the bank breaks before the pink player catches up to his cash on hand. But yeah, their stock values are about the same, so it's not. And actually, pink has more shares right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, they're both the same. So I don't know. First questions is what to do about the stock drop. Well, I got something that gives me $60 a round. I'll just take the -10 from now on. It's just going to be a hit on the monies I get to do what with. Well, they're just money that I'm going to get to do blasting. I have 3 extra cubes there. I do have 1 token, which I will want to play for the E-train. It's not going to really get in the way. I'm going to make $50 a round, so you know it's going to take me two operating rounds to get that if I don't swallow. It might be worth swallowing to get it, especially if there's an important dot out there, like this one. I don't know. The one old-time miner that's still out there runs for 280, coming down through here. That can get cut. I don't think it's forced to be cut by either of the 2 miners coming in. So, you know, it comes to a, hey, does somebody really want a dot over here? Which with the E-trains becomes pretty questionable unless that's where your run's going to be. And I don't think any of the 3 biggie boys are going to cut that. My own company would be needed to cut this one, but this company could cut that. Of course, it's not producing any cash. That'll get me to the 2 fresh miners, which are just going to go back in price, and they're going to, you know, pay $99 for a train. You know, every so often somebody brings up, hey, do you want to play over one of the electronic platforms? I don't like playing computer versions of board games. I don't like playing computer games opposed, whatever. But one thing that is kind of appealing about it is I think they have automatic run calculation capabilities, which means you can like set an upgrade and see what your best run is that way and whatnot. I can't see why they wouldn't. They're going to have an automatic run calculator in there anyway to make sure you comply with the rules. But yeah, so now I'm on the FNM, and yeah, I know that I could make 46 before, but I don't remember what the run is. Right? I suspect it's something like this, going down to there, but I'm not sure. It may not be using the destination bonus, which would change things. Things for damn sure. I want this dot. I want this dot. That's vital for my E-train. Now, I don't have the cash for the E-train right off. I think it's worth some sort of swallow to do that, but we figure that out afterwards, of course. Able to improve my run, I'm also able to build a couple of tracks that are going to potentially allow me, I don't know, they kind of go against each other, what the hell. They kind of allow me to maybe skip one of these cities. I have to get some track down, and I can't get track and upgrades down at the same time. So I put into both of these. Both of these give me an opportunity. This one, an opportunity to skip this city. This one, an opportunity to skip this city. If I do it right, I might be able to blow by both of them. All good stuff. It means my upgrades are slowed down. But I end up getting to a 36 and 10. So my run is still 46, which is what it was earlier. I think this must have been open because that's where I'm running, going up here. I don't get to my destination, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I have to skip both of those cities to get to here with the 6 train and get that from here to the destination run down. I could skip this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could get to the destination there. Let me see. I don't think that's going to be worth as much. 100. Yeah. Let me just count. That beats it out. 110, 160, 190, 230, 270. 270. I have one more slot. Can't really do anything too exciting. This is my doubled. 270 puts me to 37 instead of 36, so I can make a 47 run. But in the long run, I want to be able to run up, over, down, through here. There's going to be all kinds of meat that I can hit down there, and my E is going to be running that as well. And by avoiding dots, I can do something cool. That means I've used up the dot that I might have wanted to put in Houston, but this is so vital. This gives me this dot, which otherwise I wouldn't get. And that's a good city as well, so yeah. We half swallow with the 6 train and run the LP at full. And that gave us, I think, 29 a share paying out. I don't know. I fucked up, didn't I? Let me make sure. Yeah, 29 a share paying out. And enough money to buy the big train, which is important because it's putting cash in the bank. You can see the 7s are running out. Now, they're infinite. I'm not used to games in which you drain the infinite trains this much, you know. I mean, where you might actually have to have something. There are ways you can get around it. Unfortunately, the permanent trains just have this on them. There aren't any easy places to slip like an extra 7 or E in. But yeah, you could just use the back of a card and, you know, try to remember. Should be easy enough. It's like, why is that there? So yeah, and kind of like the New England, the 18 New England, the designer here, and maybe this is an 1822 across the board, it feels like it probably is, it has this desire to allow you to make the big runs without having to pay the really big cost that some other games force you to pay in order to, you know, engineer that fantastic run, and it's usually not worth it. Sort of, I'm not going to say it falls on you, but it's not a hard decision. The only hard decision is this a game in which the big runs are gonna pay out more? Like, is it going to be worth not having taken all that extra cash early on? And we're not going to have a good example of that because this guy was doing pretty poorly. If he kind of catches up, we have an indication that maybe it wasn't worth juggling stuff around a little bit, especially with the mental complication. But in order to try to get these bigger runs where I'm getting ease. And then there's also the question of, hey, how are these miners going to be? They're going to produce pretty good money for a single certificate, right? So this paid out 29. Now it's going to be paying out 47 a share pretty soon. But, you know, the privates are paying out about half that. At least the big guy is, the older one, or the miners are. So, you know, I mean, more than half that in his case. And when you consider you have to have a double share of it, it doesn't cost you a hell of a lot to buy. If you can keep a miner, I think it's well worth it. Which again makes these the last couple of corporations really, really iffy. They certainly don't look worth it in this game, in this particular, you know, incarnation that I've muddled my way through. But I don't know. I kind of feel like there's a good chance that those don't come out, especially with that little tiny little certificate limit in play. Interesting factors with the FCM. I think I'm going to probably be running this as a partial swallow because I'm at 1,050. I have no other source of income. That's enough to buy me this, but not enough to buy me the dot. And if I'm getting the E train, I want to hit every city I can, right? So first thing, I look at my run and I figure out what it's going to be, and it's going to be what it was last time, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. I don't hit any doinks, which sucks because now I have a Pullman over there. I think I can put that on the 3-2. That could help me a little bit because I could run, instead of straight down to here, I can run this, which will give me another $10 or whatever. Big deal. Okay. But I'm beginning to think I don't know. I needed the money that was on the miner is part of the problem, but I made the decision on that miner based on the Pullman, and now it's beginning to look like I don't want the Pullman because I'm running that 5 train right down in here and not hitting any doinks at all. Is there a way I could hit a bunch of them? So let's say I come up here. I can't hit this twice, that's the problem. So then I'd have to shoot up here. I could get doink doink. If I cut down here, I could hit these, and then that wouldn't be needed for the 3-2. So that's actually an appealing track line, is to hook this up. And then I would be going 1, 2, a couple of doinks, down, a couple more doinks, 3, 4, 5, and that would add like $40 to my run. That's another city there, essentially, which is pretty cool. The Pullmans are useful in that sort of way. So that's what I think I'm going to play as my track light. The question is, what dot do I want, right? There's nothing over here I particularly want to do. I could fuck with the 22, but I own that, so I don't want to do that. I could lock people out, but nobody else is going up there. So, you know, then it's like, okay, what's my run going to be? It's going to be to here. I got one more city. If I could break in here, which looks likely, it looks like somebody's going to do that, then I want this dot. Now, I could get that right now. And I'm looking to see how many dots there are. Black has a dot available. Orange does not. And unless they absorb this, they won't. Yellow has a couple, but they have no cash. So I feel pretty safe holding off putting that dot. Once I have the E-train and maybe this track set up and whatever, then I dot that and I get that big extra $80 up there. That means I have to run through this city and hope nobody dots it. But again, there aren't a lot of dots out there that can go down. If it's safe for me to avoid putting here, it's safe for me to avoid putting here as well. And if somebody dots in there, then maybe I reassess. just to make sure that, yeah, will I get cut? I don't know, maybe. But there are other ways to break through. A modification gets me up to a 48 run. Given that I don't, well, I will need the money next turn, so I do have to swallow. So I'm going to half swallow that thing for 50 bucks, which will drop my run to 43 a share. Oh, the first disgusting run is the Mexican Central, which had its E. I still haven't put one of my dots down. I don't have the cash to do it. I will next turn. That could go here. That would be advantageous. Probably the best place I can put it. But this might be more dicky. A Y goes up to a 50 or a 60? A Y goes up to a 50, so this is worth more money. Money is valuable, you know, and given how much avoidance is being built, and I just had to build this to get my run, there's just no reason. There's also no reason for me to swallow anything because the money's going to go in here now. I couldn't somehow get the token. The token has to be bought, as always, before the run is made. So I don't think there are any excesses. But let's take a look at what we got. We've got the 2P is running a little tiny 16 run right here. The 5 is running the run that it had before, which I believe actually hits this. It comes one. Trying to remember. Fuck me. 1, 2. I don't remember what I got. I'm a little worried because I'm seeing, oh no, I go through here. Yeah. It goes 1. No, I don't have a Pullman on that. So it goes 1, 2. Fuck. All right, how was I doing this? Because without a Pullman, that does not run the way it was looking like it ran. And I have to get the destination in there. I think maybe I started thinking I had a Pullman and ignoring the values or something. I don't know. 1, 2, because I don't need this if I'm not trying to skip something, and then I can play something more valuable. I'm really not sure how I got this 28 run off of that. Let's see. 100, 110, that's 2. 140. I come up, skip that. 140 and 80 is 22, 28. Yeah. I'm just doing the simplest damn run in the world, and I can't figure it out because the game has me convinced. Yeah, so that's the 28. But then here's the biggie, the 62, which is going to be running. No, that can't be it. Maybe I don't go up there. I don't know where I go. It's got to go up there. It's got to come down to here, back up through here, and up with room for a dot here. So that's going to run 100, 160. It's really easy to count because I don't have to trace it, don't have to get the dots. 200, 230, and 80 is 31. Doubled is 62. So the total is now 80, 90, 106 bucks. And it's going to get bigger, right? Because I'm going to be adding this in there. That's just crazy money, you know. In an 1830 game, I think we ran a run around 97 or so. I've seen games where you break 100, but here it feels like it's going to be kind of the norm for these big guys. That's going to drain the bank real fast, but that's money going into our pockets. Here is why you don't see that a few of the games and have something like what the NDEM has here, the National Railway, which is, hey, you get so many multiples of your value. You go up that many. Here you can only go up twice. And, you know, at 150, let's see, 5 of them would be 75, 6 of them would be 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it looks like it would have gone up like 6 spaces, right? That would cause issues. Among them, you hit the game end too early before you make enough money off of the damn thing. But yeah, you can come, you can come screaming out. And if that were the case, you'd want to get your stock value as low as you can if you're doing this, simply to have more room to make those runs, because you're going to make up all the stock value. But as it is, 2 spaces per works fine. And I see the limitation here. I've never really seen the limitation in a lot of the games, but when you're making runs that big, Jesus. It's bothered someone. Hi. There are tons of these guys. Anyway, you can see the weather is, very gray. And that's what triggered that interesting sunrise. It was clearer before, but it's supposed to get hot. It's a weird feel to the day because it's kind of pretty cool still. It's like 8 in the morning, and it's an interesting feel. It has the feeling like something is about to happen, but doesn't quite feel like electrical energy or something, but maybe a little bit. But what it turns out is that smoke. It's wildfire season, obviously. And it's weird because it doesn't smell like it, but there's like, an air quality advisory and all that. I was just wondering what the hell is going on, because it feels so odd out. All right, on to, I guess, the 2 newer company, or the 2, well, they're both newer and they're both littler, to be honest. Yeah. And we finish up the operating round, the 2 remaining companies. One running at 42, able to hit its destination, running, I don't know what it's hitting, but it's getting up to there. And then the other one also hitting destination a little bit differently, again up through here, and then zigging into there. That required this track lay. Yellow ended up upgrading their destination city for 20 extra bucks, basically. And now the increases are going to be kind of incremental from now on, but they're just going to keep happening, which means I can't just fix the run and say it's done. There was one that did that, one that I did recently. It was a GMT game. It was kind of a neat facet to the game. 62? I think so. That just basically said, at some point you hit the end game and you can't improve your runs anymore. You can lay track, you can... Or actually, I think you're not even allowed to. And you just, you can just spreadsheet it, and you're not... Nobody's allowed to lay track or put dots or anything. You just calculate out the end run, and it's really kind of a neat thing. To me, it takes away from a part of the game. It's an annoying part of the XX games in general, but it's also one that, I don't know that, I didn't feel like I had enough time to develop my track at the end of the game. There's always these little incremental changes. But in terms of historical accuracy, it might actually make sense, because there comes a point when the railway corporations basically had enough coverage to everything, and they were hauling everything they possibly could. Like adding new towns and what wouldn't really have improved them in terms of revenue. And this might kind of be a representation of that. And then, of course, they all declined, right? Which no game that I'm aware of does. No game, even though they have diesels and stuff in them. Now, diesels did come out relatively early, but I'm trying to remember. I don't know what they... So here, the 5 train is a 1966 train, right? The E's, they don't even give the year on it. They don't give the year on a lot of these. I don't know. 1982 for the 6 train. And the 7 and the E, they don't give a date for, but they also don't necessarily give a date for a lot of the special stuff. But anyway, that's just to give you an idea of, like, you know, how late these games are supposed to be. So this is actually a diesel, and we're looking at quite a late train. I mean, that's pretty much modern heavy trains these days look like that. I don't know what the E is. It's an express. It's a passenger train, which is what it comes out to. Okay. Anyway, going into weird stuff for no good reason, we'll hit into the next operating round. I think I'll get part of it done. I'm doing a little bit of watering just because I haven't done it in a few days. Of course, I've completely forgotten. I got to pay attention. These couple of companies here have the mail service. I got to add their cash in there. I don't know if that would have... His run off that LP was just a 10 run, and yeah, that's not what I swallowed. I swallowed a big 170 or something like that, and kind of had to. I might have been able to engineer something different given the mail run. I'm not going to worry about that, I think. 75 over here, which doesn't do shit, and 100 here, which does, but, you know, he doesn't have another token, and there are no opportunities to buy more. These are locked in as just blocking tokens at this point. Also forgot to buy my E here, which I'll take care of as well. Oops. And the runs for the miners. This guy got about 280 split. He got 250, which is not at all bad. But he got about 180, which is getting, you know, I'm only getting $90 for this certificate, right? Which is not that impressive compared to, you know, what most of them are running. Yeah, especially when you're looking at, you know, these big shares are going to be producing around $100 each, somewhere in that range. I did try to screw up a couple of times and cheat. Getting so used to running the majors, I forget that the miners can't upgrade to brown, so I tried to do this, and I tried to figure out shit here. It's possible that, you know, the major corporation can help. Orange doesn't get down here, though, and has its own job of improving its runs. I got 50% of each of these, so, well, no, that's up here. Okay, that can help. No, it's the 22. Red does get down here, and its best moves may end up being trying to improve the 22's run, because right now it's going 1, 2, 3. I went 4, 5. I actually owed myself $5 each more money. So I made a little bit more than I made 190, right? 130, 140, 190, yeah. Which, you know, obviously I can improve on that. Just branching out to here does me something. 1, 2, 3. And then I could go 4, 5 up here. This can upgrade as well. But what I did was I upgraded this so that I can cut up this way. So, anyway, what I don't have is destroy, do I? I do have a destroy. Oh, he has a destroy. Does anybody else have a destroy? I think I used one of the two. It's so hard to pay attention to all the different miners. It's a lot of chrome in the game, on top of a system that's already, in my opinion, overburdened with watching the game state and trying to keep a memory of what the hell's going on, and really complicated calculations in terms of decision making. You're not looking at like, I got a couple of choices, which one do I want to branch on? You're looking at, I got like 4 or 5 different choices on each branching. It's just nowhere near as clean in terms of like being able to just watch the impact of the chaos as the XXs that I love are. And at the same time, it is as harsh, mainly if you buy too many miners, right? It's like buying too many shares of somebody else's stock or something like that, or buying too many trains with a company that you shouldn't. I think there's just a limit to how many miners you can reasonably operate, based on time and whatnot, and you'll get used to that. This kind of thing is not going to happen, I think, to an experienced player. But the nightmare of how do I optimize my runs and swallows and all that shit is become. Now there's already a lot of branching in the track laying part of a 18xx game, but that doesn't feel hard to me. Like, you find your optimal run and that's the one you develop, right? And you make the decision once, but a lot of these other decisions are ones that are just coming up again and again, like how to manipulate your finances so that you can buy the train you want, and you may have to make that decision multiple times, even on a single train purchase. It's just not a pleasant choice to me. And oh look, the 2 orange counters are together. Back to finish up the majors. Turn my water off. I'm low on tea now. I'm good on tea. I'm low on pipe. And I kind of have to take a dump. I fucked up my runs again. With the F&M now. I'm like, whoa. I knew I wanted this dot. I don't know if I needed it for the E-train, to tell you the truth. But I thought I did. But now I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, I can run through there. That's a 2, 3, 4. I don't make it to my destination. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I could cut through and get to it eventually, but not right now. And going up this way is my 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not good. But I'm pretty sure I hit source to destination. I think that's worth more than this. So then that would mean I came 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. Let me calculate that out. See if that makes sense. And again, these games where there's too many damn runs and too much tangling, and the angular track makes it so much worse because there's so many different options to go. I guess I'm okay because I'm getting to 51 off the 6 and the LP. I've still got the E to run, and then I figure out what track I want to lay. It's going to help me the most. This is kind of funny. The extra things I'm able to hit by just running this way, get this to a 41. The E only goes to 38, but that's okay because it actually goes to 76, which is going to be a huge fucking run. And I still haven't made the upgrade, whatever it may be, which is really kind of hard to decide. Some of it may be, hey, I want this before somebody takes it, right? And that'll add just another 10 to each run. I don't honestly know if there's anything that helps me more, because now I hook up. Now, avoiding this city helps me. And that may be worth more than trying to upgrade the Y. I do have a private that could concede, or a minor that could help. It can reach down here now. Yeah, but yeah, this is going to require 2 upgrades. This is going to require 1. I think I just grabbed the Y and improved my run a little incrementally. I'm not sure the bank's even going to last long enough with these huge runs to make a damn bit of difference. Like, I may not be able to get the best run that I want to get. I have a mail run now. That actually is quite nice because I actually hit this. No, that doesn't make a damn bit of difference. I would rather hit something else. What was I hitting? Yeah. Now I got to reproduce that 42 run to make sure, because I think I might be hitting this, which would be better. Insane run at 119. I don't know that I've ever seen that much. And that gets him close to $1,000 off a single run paying out with all of the things running. There's no reason I'm collecting up more money than I need from the mail run at this point. And of course that sends me forward too. Stock value is not going to be much of the equation. One of the questions is maybe you can like run a corporation relatively well and get it to the stock value, but I honestly think the better move here is to get those big trains. I think trying to reach stock value is almost impossible. Like, you might be able to get there, but or get close, but as you start hitting those big stock values, I think what you're going to just start seeing is the big runs just overtake you, and they drain the bank, and you're not the person who ends it. As it is, I'm gaining another $45, so I'm getting 119 a share off of this, and another 45 in stock value. So I'm making a lot of money, and you can see here. I mean, yeah, those get really big, but you're not going to be going up twice with those in general. Oh, well, here I would, so maybe. Damn. Wow, yeah, huge runs, man. For the truly obscene, the E-Train runs at 88 after upgrading this, getting the dot there. I'm hitting 6 dots, obviously. All in good locations. A good doubled location here, I hope. I hope I didn't count this doubled. The main run 41, this thing 11. We were looking at like, you know, a 52 run, right? With what we had before, and that's upgraded. We had been at 48. Now we're at 142. We've like tripled our run by adding that E-Train. That's crazy. That's just crazy. And yeah, I'm not breaking any rules as far as I can see. Only 11 from that. Yeah. And obviously we pay that out, man. We had the cash for the dot this time. Whoopee, whoopee, whoopee. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's really clear when you're making $1,000 a run off one of your corporations, it's not worth these things, that's for sure. It's also, there's no big strategic decision making, right? Like, in a lot of the XX games, you can kind of think, am I going to be able to use that big trainage? Obviously, in 1830, if you can get 2 5s, you're in great shape. But for the most part, like, what can you get off a big diesel run? Well, maybe $100 if you set up the track perfectly. But maybe. But it's really unlikely. You're also only going to be holding 60% of the company in most likelihood. And you really have to work hard on both the track lays and I'm not just saying work hard. Everything has to fall in your favor in the track lays for that to happen. You have to work really hard in terms of managing the trains to get there. Here it honestly feels like there's one strategic choice. Get yourself one big, get yourself the miners, survive the miner crush, right? Get yourself good miners at decent prices. the FCM is definitely worth it. The concession miner, definitely worth more than whatever I paid for it, which was under $200, right? But yeah, get yourself a good combination and set it up to get yourself a permanent train and an E-train so you can run over the same track. Set yourself up to get bonus trains where you can as miners, the ones that don't count against your train limit. And yeah, I mean, and then no question that these are as good as shares in other things, it looks like. And there may not be room for you to have. The shares may not be available once you've manipulated stuff. So to me, what I see is the three people who are in the lead, they all did pretty much the same thing. There's no, this might not work out type of feeling. I don't see how it can happen because you're going to be able to build your way into the places you need to get to. Is anybody locked out? No. I mean, the miners are, sure. But out of the major corporations, there's plenty of places, plenty of dots getting into Mexico City. It feels almost uninteresting from a strategic point of view, which kind of sucks. All the manipulation, all the interesting strategy and everything has to surround things that, again, it feels like that obfuscational strategy towards building the game, which is, yeah, I mean, right away you face it, you're not sure how many miners can survive, okay? That's the kind of knowledge that's like maybe a little harder to get to, and maybe somebody, when they're teaching you the game will tell you, look, you really don't want to go above 3 miners, that's for sure, and I'd be real careful with more than 2. People got in trouble with that. And, the trains are going to fall a lot faster than they look like they're going to. It looks like it's going real slow for a long time. All kind of stuff like that you can kind of explain to somebody who knows XX. You can maybe give them some rules of thumb. But in the end, it's navigating that sort of mid-game train rush type crisis and coming out of it in the better shape that's going to make a big difference. Now, eventually, this guy just, not only did I cheat in his favor in certain ways, the 3-2 was running from Y to Y, which it couldn't do, for example. But it's a little bit extra money. A little bit can go a long way, though. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing the same style of play being the only valid style, I think. Worry about that when the miners are going to get in trouble. That's your big decision point, and after that, you don't have any other decisions. You run to get yourself a permanent train and an E-train and as many bonuses as you can. As many bonus trains as you can on your company, which, honestly, that's going to be the interesting thing, I guess, is how much do you bid on something like the 2P or the 3-2 or the LP? How much do you bid on those Pullmans? Which, to be fair, I don't think this guy's really... I mean, he's using it, but he's barely using it. Because he's running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now. Now, he might be able to improve on that a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. The only way you can improve on it is coming through here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is stuck, and then I could hit this. I don't know if that's worth more than hitting that, I'm getting a lot of doinks in there, and a lot of doinks is nice, right? I'm getting 4 doinks. That's like an extra city if I go that way. But I have to avoid this, and I may not have the time to do that because there's no quick upgrade here. I mean, it's again, like that's just like, yeah, you go with the angular track, you have different advantages, different disadvantages. There's a quick upgrade that gets me through here in most XX games, not in this one. But yeah. All right. On to... Oh, why is this here? Oh, fuck. I don't know if it paid, like if I moved it or didn't or what. I probably didn't move it, and it made 40 something. I'm guessing, but it's... these tokens. Again, give me fucking cardboard pieces for the stock value. I prefer that. I get so confused with the wooden pieces there, and honestly... I've never really been that big a fan of the wooden pieces. The big wooden cylinders, look, little tokens might be hard to cope with, but these things are too tall. They cause issues on their own as well. This feeling of, I should just call it here, right? Like, I don't know who won. I think he did, which would make sense. I think I know the positioning. First and second are definitely those two. Third is definitely there. Fourth there, fifth here. It's just going to work out that way. Yeah, he's got more cash right now. By a little bit. Not by much. Yeah, it's about the same actually at this point. Because that's a 500 over here. A little bit behind, but he's going to catch up on this run, in fact, because he's not going to get 1,000. He's only got 60%. But yeah. And, you know, what am I going to learn at this point about the end game? Whereas there is a fair amount of pain in calculating out all these routes again and again and again to see, and there's still little upgrades that can be made and little improvements to shift these so that they just keep going. If I knew the bank was going to end this round, I would probably stop. Let's see, I would probably play it out. But if it isn't, it only means one more operating round, unless somebody breaks the bank during the stock round, which would be a really dicky thing to do, to tell you the truth. But might be worth it. Like, this guy's making the most money if he was behind in current cash, which he kind of is. Nah, he's ahead already. So when does the game end? Well, it's not at the end there. I wonder where it is. It's got to be at the beginning. At the end of the operating round in the stock market, at the end of the first operating round following a stock round, at the end of the first operating round in which the bank runs out of money. When the bank runs out of money in an operating round, you complete the pair of operating rounds and the game ends. Yeah, so like in 1830, it's possible that the bank could run out in the first operating round. It could run out very early in it. And a lot of money gets handed out over the bank's amount. And honestly, that's not going to cover an operating round, right? I don't think so. Or it's close. But if it runs out real early, it may not cover. And then I just don't have enough bank. If it ends, you know, on the last rail of the second operating round, yeah, you've got basically $12,000 that you've put out, right? Like, you've got the amount of money that was in the bank, and that's it. You haven't exceeded the bank by much. So final scores don't really make much difference. The only thing... But anyway, I guess I'll force myself to do these companies, see where I end up. Problem is, it's going to be close to breaking. Like, I'm really not sure if it breaks. This guy managed to boost his final run, well, his run now, up to 124 above the purple line. I think that has more to do with dots than anything else. Dots on the E-train, remember, they're doubled, so he just happens to be sitting on some better dots than purple is, I guess. I don't know. Purple's sitting on this one. And this, my home city's not worth as much, or my destination city's not worth as much as his destination will be. And there's still room for growth. There's still another level of Y, if there are any Ys left. I don't know if there are. There are not. So he's not going to get full bonus out of that. So these are equivalent. Yeah. I'm looking at like this 60 versus this 30. That's a big part of the difference. Assuming I calculated right. Hellacious time counting the Mexican International. This one inched its way up to 43 a share. I'm trying to see what I need to upgrade, and I count this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. And I have to go through this. I don't have to go through this, but I'd like to avoid something. Oh, I come out this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, that's what I do. I don't hit the doink. I thought I had to hit the doink for some reason. And I still don't come to the total that I had. I had a 48 here. Maybe fucked up, I don't know. But I'm getting 10, 16, 22, 26, 31, 36, 44. And that's all she wrote. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 44. I got no clue. I'm not going to worry about whatever excess money I may have given him and him, but and then that makes this my best upgrade, which will get me 2 extra and pushes him forward. I'm not really terribly interested in going through another stock round and the operating rounds. It's not a terrible burden. I could just say screw it and pay these out, whatever, spreadsheet it out and figure that out. In fact, I may just do that. That would actually get me a close estimation, because I just don't want to play out the track calculations again and again and again. That's a horrible thing. And yeah, it's just too painful. Now, are there opportunities for improvements? Yeah. So like Purple has this they could improve. There's the fucking privates and all that. I don't have their payouts. I think I may just quit. He's going to pay off his loan and have a few bucks left to start buying shares. He might have wanted to grab this. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got room for 4 more shares. He's not going to have money for 4 more shares, so that's fine. He's in good shape. Yeah, comparatively. At least he's going to end up positive. Outside of that, man, you know, obviously the bank wasn't going to break with those little companies running. These guys just aren't making the money, right? But if the big ones had another go, they would break it. But I'm going to have to go 2 operating rounds to buzz through this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put off making this decision a little bit. I hate daytime. It's going to be too hot to want to do anything. So even though I slept for the most part during the night, oddly enough, or during the morning, I got like 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep during there, and you know, lots of sleep on Saturday, whatever. And now I'm like too awake. I don't think. I don't know. I'll probably take a nap later or something. I just have no idea. I just don't want to do anything, you know? Like, I want to go to sleep. In the sense of, oh, geez, I don't want to face the day, you know? I guess I could play lots of Raid. That would be what I do at night anyway, so what the hell? Might as well do it during the day. But yeah, I don't see much value to playing out the remainder of this thing. I think it's decided. I think he's going to have the win here. He's got equivalent stock value, not as many shares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, they both have 8. They both have 2 good shares. They both have a minor company. The one does a little bit better. but this does so much better than the purple is at this point, which actually really surprised me because the purple's got a heavier 6 train on it. It's just what this started out with, that core around Mexico City, much of which the purple has now that they picked this up, but they don't have this one. Just ended up, and the fact that yeah, it was really easy to hit the destination, which is useful too. Although it's not a great destination, it's only a 40 right now. That can go up. There are, oddly enough, gray regular cities in this game. But this is just going to keep boosting. That 3-2 train is better than the LP. But the biggie is just the compact little E-run. And actually, I'm able to do something cool with the Doinks here. He might be able to improve his run fairly heavily. I don't know. But I don't feel like playing. It just is not appealing to me. All right, we'll break and I'll make my decision. I'm not used to bailing on an XX game at this point. The ones that make me feel like doing that are 1870 and 2038. The 2 games that just run too long. 1835, but 1835 is so, it just feels so scripted, comparatively. This one doesn't feel scripted. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of strategic choice, though. It feels like you're really forced into one action. 2038's a good game. It's just too fucking long for what it is. And I feel like this one, and a lot of that's the AP involved in all these calculations and minor decisions. Not the big ones. Not the big ones. The big ones, I'm convinced, while I struggled with them, I'm convinced that no one should. The game is pretty straightforward outside of all these minor optimizations and just little things that you can do to juggle your decisions. And then some of that's the bidding, which is not a lot of fun solo, that much bidding in a game. I kind of don't like it, but I think I would get a kick out of it opposed. I think that's actually something that I would enjoy opposed. I don't think it's worth the hassle of the rest of the game, comparatively. I'm kind of surprised that there's not a big strategic choice between, swallowing for the best trains and whatnot. And some of it is swallowing's easy. You don't have to really swallow, right? You have a lot of capacity to do. Yeah, you know what? We're quitting. I'm just going to load this up. Almost certain this guy's going to get the win. Count the cash and see. They each have 1,000, or no, they each have 2,000 in cash here. And we can look at the blues. And we can see that's a significant advantage. Stock values, essentially the same. I've got an FCM and a Mexican. He has two and a Mexican Central. He has 2 Mexican Centrals, so he has a little bit less stock increment that's going to be happening. Revenue, this is not going to get beaten by the purple, but it may get tied. And then this is probably making, well, this is certainly making about $50 more over the course of what? 2 operating rounds, $25 a round more. And it doesn't matter what's going in here, it matters what's going in here, but I can look and see it's the same amount. So he's going to eke out a little bit of a victory. Everything else is pretty predictable. You could argue this thing. He's got 1,500, 2,500 here, whereas he has 1,000, 15, 2,400, say. So what did I say he had? 2,500? If it's that close, it's not really that close. Yeah, he's only got 2,500. Yeah, I mean, he's just got so much more value coming in off that he's going to end up breaking away from him. He actually made a fair comeback considering the amount of struggling he had to do. And this guy, he's not negative. I guess that's something. All right, let's load it up. And yeah, I've got a large degree of meh about this one. I liked the 18 New England. Some of the same concepts maybe came into play in that, but I thought it just played a lot better than this. This one's just too many minor calculations and decisions, that aren't tiny little things. There's just too many. And the bidding adds a lot to that. Like each time you bid, you're making one of them calculation decisions again and again. Now, and yeah, that's a big burden. And there's a lot of mechanical stuff to remember, to keep track of and everything. In terms of like, is my money committed for the bids, or has it become freed to me and everything? Where it just clutters up the whole design. It's not as good as most XXs. And I suspect most of that is the 1822 kind of core rules. Just, from what I saw in the rule book and whatnot, it's not 1822 MX that ruined this. It's that 1822 core, which means that, I am not surprisingly at odds with some group of other players. And it feels like the way it's different is it's more heavy Euro than most XXs are. Most XXs, like Euro players would always say, 18XX is like, one of the heavier Euro style games. It's not. It's never been a Euro to me. It's always felt more grounded in reality than Euros do. And I don't feel like this departs too terribly from that. But even though there's some kind of iffy things, but it's added this sort of obfuscation layer to the normal 18XX that I feel like, yeah, maybe there's a couple of plays where you're going to come down to, a few things, valuation of all those bids and how to evaluate them each time, with each new configuration of the game. That's not going to be a fixed thing, and that's kind of a positive. I'll give it that. But it does add to the calculation within your situation. Can you afford to do this? What's it going to do? What's the effect, on your train situation and all that? And there's just so many damn minors. I mean, there's an interesting situation here, but it's one that I feel like you get a general solution to most of the issues pretty easily, but you're still going to have to make lots of calculations that is just a heavier burden and decisions based on those calculations, right? But they're decisions that, knowing what the final game state is going to be like for your company, if you're going to win, and knowing how to cope with the train rush, which I felt kind of blindsided by it. I don't mind that too terribly, but one learning game was necessary to understand just how bad that was going to be, just how harsh that train rush was going to be, and how bad owning too many miners is. But there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of levers that you don't end up pushing. A lot of miners that don't get taken. The corporations, the excess corporations that maybe don't get taken. That you know, they add to the variability of the game, but they also like, I don't know. I'm just I'm soured by the amount of effort. All right, done.